Hello and welcome back to the Zone Focus channel. My name is Chris and thank you again for stopping by, and Happy New Year. This is going to be the first video that I'll be putting out in 2022. So just want to say thank you for all of you guys who subscribed to the channel last year, and my goal is to be a little bit more consistent with the videos that I make going into this year. So we'll see how that plays out going into the future. But for today, we're going to be talking about something that I feel like is very important in this film conversation, in this film community that we have, but I feel like it's often left out. It's kind of like that forgotten member of the family, the black sheep of the family, excuse me. And that member of the family is called, or is named, reversal film or slide film. So there's a couple of points that I want to hit in this video, and I'll be putting the points over here. All right, so this is the timestamps for the points that I'll be talking about. So if you want to skip around, feel free to, or if you just want to listen to me talk, that's cool with me too. So let's start. What makes slide film so special? Why is it special to me? Why do I care? Why should you care? The reason being is that slide film gives you an experience that's unique. So as you would see with most C41 or black and white film, you would get a negative, which means that the colors or the image is inverted, and it has to be inverted to give you the positive image so you can actually see what the image looked like when you made it. On the other hand, reversal film or slide film gives you that positive image directly on your film emotion. So you can pull your emotion out of the pack. After you've developed it, you can put it up to the light and you can actually see the images that you made directly on the film in full color. Or if you use black and white slide film, which I think Agfa still makes, you can get a direct positive black and white image right on your emotion. So in that case, the beauty of it is that you do not have to deal with colors. In a regular C41 process, when you invert the colors, there's a lot of things that have to happen so you can get the colors the way that you want it to get. Everyone who says they don't edit their film photos is technically lying, because you have to post-process that image to be able to get the colors that you want. And because if you don't, then you just have an orange piece of negative film. So you have to invert those colors, and whenever you put it through a scanner of any type, whether it be like a Noritsu or a Frontier scanner from Fujifilm, or your camera, or a Epson scanner, whatever the case may be, it's going to be changed. And then if you put it into Negative Lab Pro, again, that process will be manipulated. So you'll get those colors based on whichever process you use. On the flip side, you have your positive film. Positive film is known for being very accurate with the colors that it produces. So, or at least the ones that are still around now, most of them produce very accurate or pretty accurate colors. So when you're actually looking at the film on the negative or on the positive, on the emotion, you'll actually have the colors pretty closely represented to what they actually were at the time of actually making the photo. Now, there is one caveat. Positive film is not the same as negative film, of course. Reason being is that the way that you develop the film is different. There's two different chemical processes that are used for each type of film. Of course, black and white is not, we're not really talking about black and white right now. Color negative film is developed in a C41 process, which is the name of the chemical process used to develop the film. Now, on the other hand, positive film is developed in a process called E6. Now, E6 is specifically used for color negative film and will give you a positive image on your emotion when you develop it. C41, on the other hand, you can put reversal film in C41 to develop, but you will get a negative out of the results, which is called cross-processing. In my opinion, cross-processing is garbage, and you wasted expensive film, and the results are usually whack. Slide film, you take your emotion, you can put it directly on a light box, and you can see your images right in front of your eyes. You can get a loop and look into your images, just like, I don't know if you guys remember back in the day, the little red goggles with the circular cards that you put in. You had like Disney movies or animals or National Geographic. Y'all might be too young for that. Y'all know what I'm talking about. If you know, you a real one. You've been around for a while, and you pulled the little lever, and it would rotate the wheel, and you could see different images through the goggles. So that was little slide images. Those are little positive images that you could view through the light. That's beside the point. Anyway, that's what it reminds me of when I look at my images after I get my slides back. And the beauty of slide film is that you can also use a projector. That's the entire point of using slide film, is to project the images. I want you guys to remember that at one point in time, reversal film was actually the industry standard. Now, when it comes to photojournalism, fashion houses, advertisement companies, all of those types of companies back in, the 60s, 70s, 80s, probably right up until the 90s. Could be guessing about that, but I know it was big back in the 60s, 70s, around that time. All of those companies would use slide film to produce their images. Reason being is that slide films produced the most accurate colors. So you could take the colors directly off the emulsion. You could print from the emulsion. You could, do all of those types of things without having to deal with a negative and interpreting the colors after the fact. So if you were taking an image of something that was red for an advertisement, you want the colors to be as accurate as possible if you're going to try to sell it, because you don't want to sell something that's red and it looks orange because of interpretation of negative film, right? If you have slide film, you take a picture of something red, the red looks like it really does to the eye. Now you can put that in the advertisement and you get accurate colors, you get an accurate representation of whatever you're trying to shoot. Of course, there were some famous photographers who used slide film to shoot their work. Some of those photographers include Steve McCurry, who is Afghan girl shooter from National Geographic. I know it's a lot of shit on his name, and I don't know the entire backstory of that. I'm just saying that's what he used to get that picture. You've probably seen the picture before. David Allen Harvey, which did a lot of work in Cuba. Alex Webb, also known for his work in Cuba, very vivid colors, very contrasty scenes. And these are street style images. Gordon Parks did a lot of his work with slide film, especially his stuff in the South, when he did a lot of his, out in the field type journalism work. And then, of course, Vivian Mayer. Vivian Mayer also used slide film amongst other types of films. She kind of, touched on a little everything, just like everybody else. And one image that you guys have probably seen, anyone who has ever used Windows XP, and the green hills picture and the blue sky, in that image was actually captured on Fujifilm Velvia 50, if I'm not mistaken, on a Mamiya RZ67. So that's actually a slide. You can take that image and you can project it, but they took the image and they put it into Windows XP, and it's the background that a lot of the world knows. Very iconic photo. Now that we've talked about what makes slide film special and that it was an industry standard back in the day, whereas color negative has kind of stepped in its place, why do I like slide film? Like, why am I even making this video for you guys? Why should you care? First of all, I'm gonna let you know why I enjoy slide film. It's a couple of reasons. One, the color accuracy. The color accuracy is beautiful, and especially in my favorite film, which is Provia 100F, followed by Velvia 50. Both of those slide films produce amazing colors. Slide film is also contrasty. So you get nice, beautiful, rich, saturated colors, and then you get really nice, shadowy, dark areas in images if you have a contrasty scene. Plays really beautifully. On top of all of that, of course, when you actually put the image down, you can see it on the emulsion. It is nothing like getting a roll of slide film out and putting it up to the light and actually seeing your images right there in front of you. And then, of course, top of the line being you can project your images onto a wall and actually view it with friends or with other people or by yourself, whatever the case may be. But you can actually see your image large and, out on the wall in life. It's a beautiful thing. Now, of course, everything can't be rainbow, sunshine, sharp images, and beautiful colors. That's just not real life. There are some downsides to slide film, at least in my opinion. Those being, slide film is slow, right? It is only 100 speed at its fastest. It's limiting in the places that you can shoot it. The second thing being is that slide film is, the dynamic range in slide film is way smaller than negative film. Extremely small. Okay, it is not the same as color negative film. You might only have a stop and a half ish on both sides, maybe, as far as in the darks and in the lights. So you have to be really accurate with your metering so that you don't completely black out your blacks or you completely blow out your highlights, because highlights go fast. It is not like color negative film where you can overexpose the film extremely far and it's okay. If you mess up and you go 2 stops over, say goodbye to your highlights. It's done. It ain't coming back. Same thing with your shadows. If you go 2 stops underexposed, that's it. Bye-bye image. Okay, so make sure that you are shooting accurately with your metering when you're shooting slide film, because it'll give you the best results. Now, the last thing we have to talk about is the future, because the future is where we have to step in and we have to do a little work, right? So as of right now, there, of course, are only 4 major slide films in production. There are some smaller companies that produce slide film, but if you're talking about accurate color, color accuracy, if you're talking about the consistency of the images that come out of the film, if you're talking about the consistency of the colors that are produced from the film, you're only going to be dealing with the top 4 films that are on the market, which is Provia 100F from Fujifilm, Velvia 100 from Fujifilm, Velvia 50 from Fujifilm, and Ektachrome 100 from Kodak. Now, to keep that alive, we have to shoot some slide film. And I know that's not what you want to hear, because film prices are getting more expensive and everything's going up in the market and more money is flying out of our pockets. The more we want to shoot this beautiful medium, right? The more we want to produce with film, the more money goes out of our pockets. There's a couple of ways to try to keep that cost low, though. Slide film does cost a little more on the front end, with rolls ranging from about $10 to $15 a roll. But Cinestill has an E6 chemical process that you can actually do at home now. So that can cut the cost of the amount of money that you spend on the back end when it comes to developing, if you do it at home. So you can buy a few rolls, shoot them all, develop it all, and save a couple of bucks that way. That's what we're going to have to do, basically. I really want you guys, if you haven't, to get out and try to enjoy shooting some slide film, because I personally think that the results are amazing. So take the time, buy a roll of slide film, shoot it, develop it, and enjoy your positive images right there on your film. You'll like it. I think you will. So with all of that being said, if you shot slide film, what's your favorite slide film? My favorite, of course, is Provia 100F, but let me know down in the comments below which one you like the best. Like, comment, subscribe, you know the deal. And as always, stay zone focused. I'll holler at you later. Get out there and shoot some slide film. Peace.